4. I'm John Finolio.
And I'm Lindsay Pena in for Samantha Cortese. We're following breaking news this afternoon. A stolen truck has overturned after a pursuit with deputies.
Gil Davis and Sky 5 with details. Gil.
John and Lindsay, this was a dramatic end to this pursuit. A box truck being chased by the LA County Sheriff's Department. It was eastbound here on District Boulevard when it tried to swerve around a spike strip that deputies put out on the street. Let's go to some video that we shot as that happened. Now, they were pursuing this box truck for at least 10 minutes that we know of. It was eastbound on District Boulevard when the vehicle swerved violently there and overturned onto its side. The Sheriff's Department came in quickly to rescue the driver out of that cab of the truck, and you can see the deputies coming into the scene now. One concern that we're seeing right now is some leakage coming out of the truck. We don't know if that's fuel or the contents inside the truck. We did see that the deputies moved their vehicles back quite a distance, and now the fire department's on scene to check out exactly what they have inside of that box truck. You can see how far the fire department vehicles and the deputy vehicles are. They were right on top of that truck when it turned over. They quickly moved further back, and now the fire department's going to investigate exactly what's inside of that truck. As for the driver didn't appear to be injured, was taken into custody and put into one of the squad cars, but now it's the fire department's turn to figure out exactly what was inside of this stolen van. That's the latest overhead up in Sky 5. I'll send it back to you in the studio.
All right, thank you so much, Gil. Meanwhile, the LAPD is sharing new video of a hit and run in Panorama City that left a skateboarder in critical condition, and we do want to warn you, you may find this difficult to watch. It happened Thursday around 5:15 p.m. on westbound Nordhoff Street near Lurline Avenue. Video shows the suspect's car hitting the skateboarder, described as a man in his 30s, sending him flying. The car is seen continuing for a few seconds before making a U-turn and escaping eastbound on Nordhoff. Police are asking for the public's help in finding the driver of that four-door gray Ford Focus. They say it has several unique identifying marks, including a light gray repainting job on the front right fender, white tape around the edges of both taillights, and possibly tinted rear windows.
Family, teammates, and coaches will hold a candlelight vigil tonight in honor of a 14-year-old boy who was shot and killed in Victorville. Jeremy Rosales was shot Friday night near Glen Canyon Lane and Burwood Avenue. He was rushed to a hospital where he later died. He played for Oak Hills High School and Team Elite Sports Academy in Hesperia, where he won nationals and was named Player of the Year. Rosales earned the nickname Tank due to his size and power on the field. We spoke to his coach over the weekend.
As a coach, things like this are very tough to see. Jeremy, by far, nobody deserves anything like this. But ultimately, the community's crushed, our coaches, our parents, a loss of words.
A GoFundMe has been set up to help pay for the young man's funeral expenses. There have been no arrests. Police have not said what led to the shooting.
Community watchdog groups are noticing increased immigration enforcement activity in Orange County. Immigrant advocates say they've observed roving enforcement in Anaheim and neighboring cities over the weekend and are bracing for more. Federal agents have been spotted raiding car washes and Hispanic grocery stores across Orange County wearing civilian clothes and driving unmarked vehicles.
KTLA's Jillian Smuckler joins us live in Anaheim with details. Jillian.
John, yeah, we are right outside the Anaheim car wash, and you can see things are calm. It really is business as usual, but just yesterday, that was not the case. Cell phone video shows federal agents rushing onto the property, some being even snatched up, and workers here tell me they're just trying to do their job.
Not again.
It all unfolded in seconds.
It's private property, bro. It says right there.
Cell phone video shows federal agents running onto the Anaheim car wash property as workers shout for them to leave. Employees tell us no one from the car wash was detained, but agents quickly moved next door. Video shows federal agents chasing and wrestling a man to the ground. He works next door at the Valvoline oil change, and his boss says his name is Gustavo.
I started chasing my maintenance guy right down here on this the side street. all the way till here, but he's a U.S. citizen, so they're basically just racially profiling people based on their skin color and their accent.
Perry says he was still in uniform when he was tackled, briefly detained, and then released.
One of them tackled my guy. He literally, you can see him, he has his uniform, he has his yellow burn sleeves, and literally tackled him. And then literally 3 guys had to drag him in the car.
Car wash employees tell us they saw the same aggressive tactics.
They just come in here, they don't tell you who they are, masks up, and they don't identify themselves. They just come by, and whoever they see running, they just run after them.
Protesters followed federal agents through the area, honking horns and shouting for them to leave.
They're terrorizing people literally in the streets, and we're just here to work, you know? Literally, like, if you wake up in the morning, get ready, go to work, and you're not going to expect that out of anybody to just do that to people. We're all human beings at the end of the day.
Now, this car wash, this is not the first time they have seen these types of raids. They say they were also targeted last summer. Now, we did reach out to DHS to get comment on the weekend's enforcement operations, but we have yet to hear back. As for the city of Anaheim, they tell us they do not support how these raids are being carried out. They say they are standing with other cities and possibly considering litigation. Reporting live in Anaheim, Jillian Smuckler, KTLA 5 News.
Jillian, thank you. Breaking news now at 4, violence at the end of MLK parade festivities. Police now investigating a stabbing. The 40-year-old victim rushed to the hospital. It began as a day celebrating Dr. King's message of nonviolence and turned into chaos in the streets and a fight in Leimert Park with one man stabbed.
Police are now on scene setting up skirmish lines, including officers on horseback to control the situation and clear the streets. Jean King is live in Leimert Park with the latest details. Jean.
Hi, John and Lindsay. What was supposed to be a day of celebration and fighting for justice on this MLK Day unfortunately turned violent. As I step out very quickly, as you see, there are still police here in the background. This is off of Crenshaw and McClung Drive. And as you're seeing, they're going to be here for quite a while. We know that they had a large crowd earlier. Because of all of this violence, they started dispersing all of those people. Take a look at this new video. Officers had to form multiple skirmish lines. Things escalated quickly. Around 2 this afternoon, police responded to a stabbing near Stalker Street and Crenshaw Boulevard, not far from many businesses and homes. LAPD says a 40-year-old man was stabbed, unfortunately. Emergency crews, including medics, were called out to the scene, and witnesses reported people throwing bottles and rocks at police. LAPD says a group of people tried to get involved. Police are still investigating what led to the stabbing and the confrontation. No word on the victim's condition or whether anyone has been arrested. Take a look at this. Sky 5 video shows the moments where there was a large police presence. They're still here now. Officers on horseback had to disperse those crowds. This all happened while thousands were gathered to celebrate MLK Day events, the Kingdom Day Parade, and Freedom Festival that were all going on just blocks away. City leaders are saying this is unfortunate that someone was hurt. Their hearts go out to that person, especially on MLK Day, which is meant to be a day of justice, service, and nonviolence. Now back out here live. As you see, a lot of police officers are still here. We're trying to see if that person has been arrested. We know that there were many police officers. I just saw about 24 of them that were on top of a vehicle, literally, as they're heading out to different residential streets. I think that search is still on this afternoon. Reporting live here in Leimert Park, Jean King, KTLA 5 News.
Jean, thank you for that update. President Trump has previously said taking over Greenland is necessary for our national defense, but new details appear to show his ambitions may be fueled by not winning a coveted prize. And now Trump's threat of tariffs have rattled global markets and prompted European leaders to hold an emergency meeting. European leaders are warning that if President Trump follows through on his threats to impose tariffs on countries opposed to his plans for Greenland, it could damage economies worldwide.
This has been very badly received across the United Kingdom. We're allies of the United States.
The 8 European countries targeted with tariffs slammed the move Sunday. They said in a joint statement the president's threats risk a dangerous downward spiral.
The measures threatened over the weekend by the United States administration will not help improve security in the Arctic. In fact, they risk the opposite. Greenland and Denmark have both made clear that Greenland is not for sale and that their sovereignty and territorial integrity needs to be respected. And that fact will not change.
Under Trump's proposal, Denmark, Norway, Sweden, France, Germany, the UK, the Netherlands, and Finland will face a 10% tariff starting in February. He said that would rise to 25% in June if there was no deal for the U.S. to buy Greenland.
I think everyone should take the president at his word.
The Trump administration argues the U.S. needs Greenland for national security reasons.
We're not going to have Russia or China occupy Greenland.
New text messages released Monday from Trump to the Norwegian Prime Minister reveal more about the president's thinking. He writes, "Considering your country decided not to give me the Nobel Peace Prize for having stopped 8 wars, plus I no longer feel an obligation to think purely of peace, although it will always be a predominant, but can now think about what is good and proper for the United States of America." Several U.S. lawmakers have met with European leaders in the last few days, and there's legislation being proposed in Congress that would prevent the U.S. from taking military action against Denmark. At this point, European leaders aren't threatening any sort of retaliation against the U.S. Trump hasn't ruled out using military force to seize Greenland. In an interview with NBC News today, he replied no comment when asked whether he could send in the military to claim the Danish territory.
We have more coming up on the news at 4.
Casey Montoya has a look at your forecast. Hi, Casey.
Hi, and it was a warm forecast again today. Temperatures above average for most of us. Cooler weather, though, and a chance of rain on the way. We'll talk about that coming up.
I'm David Ladd.